Texas 95.7 The Armadillo. Craig Vaughn with you in the studio. Got the Waylanders in the studio with me. I'll let you introduce yourselves, Danny and Joey.
Yes,
Danny.
sir.
Yep, I am Danny Osborne, and I play drums in the Waylanders.
And
I'm Joey Forrest, and I play the guitar, harmonica, and I sing lead vocals.
yeah, just a two-piece. Did you guys set out to be a two-piece? Like, was this on purpose, or was there like at one point where you're thinking, okay, we're going to make a full band, it'll be you and I, and we're going to get a steel player and a bass player and da-da-da-da, and or did you guys go, no, this is good?
Well, when we started, we wanted to be a full band because
Yeah.
that's what people told us. Hey, you want to play country music, you got to have a fiddle, you got to have
Yeah.
a steel, you got to have a bass, all those
Sounds
things.
like a song.
Yeah.
And like the song, exactly. So then, but we couldn't find anybody that was a good fit. And then we just kept playing, practicing, and writing songs. And then they kept telling us that, and over, you're going to need a bass, you're going to need a bass. And then the more they told us, the less we wanted it
Yeah.
at that point. So it became our rebellion, like
Right.
I'm a strong believer that being an outlaw, or it's about being rebellious with music. You know, I feel like right now there's kind of a little bit of a trend to say, oh, I'm an outlaw musician, and then it comes with, oh, I used to be an alcoholic and I was in prison, kind of thing.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and it's like a thing that to sell your music or something.
Yeah.
But to me, it means the music, you do it your own way. So we were like, let's not get a bass, let's just do it ourselves, and that became our outlaw, quote unquote outlaw, and our rebellion. And we stuck with that, and that's basically how we became the Waylanders. And it's now a two-piece,
Yeah.
So everything we do as a two-piece.
Yeah. Well, I think people have that automatic impression of, you need that.
Yeah.
Dong, tuk, tung, tuk, tung,
Right.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? They need that background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. But I'm guessing you get plenty with the drums, or
Yeah, that's kind of
Like-
just the kick drum is basically
Yeah.
our bass. And, it would be easier sometimes, I think, if there was a bass to stay in time
Yeah,
with,
yeah.
but...
Yeah.
And,
But we want to kind of, like we were talking, we want to be with this movement that's happening of like Americana or rock kind of country music, like, Muscadine Bloodline or the Red Clay Straits. Those people that they're doing their own thing the way they want to do it,
Right.
and that's the same with us. We want to do what we love the way
Yeah.
we, and
It's funny.
it would be. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I think it would be harder too with bass because we don't use in-ear
monitors,
clicks or
yeah.
anything like that, and I improvise a lot of the songs, so I make them longer or shorter, or I.
Yeah, I never know what he's going to
anything.
do
Yeah,
on stage. I'm
So
like,
to
"All right,
have
what's he
a
gonna do?"
third, or it would be like, what the hell are these
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
doing?
Yeah,
So
it would be hard to keep up with a bunch of people.
yeah.
They say Chuck Berry was like that.
Is it?
You
What's
watched
weird?
that old, I can't remember the name of the documentary, but Keith Richards is in it. Which I'm
Oh
like, Keith
yeah,
Richards
he's
out
teaching
there.
him.
Yeah, and they just hated playing with Chuck Berry because he would just
Yeah.
change chords or change key or
Yeah, yeah.
not tell anybody, and
Yeah.
they'd be like, and then he'd be mad at him for not keeping
Yeah.
up.
It's
Yeah.
pretty funny. We'll be in the middle of a song, and then I'll hear him do a different chord, and I'm like, he's going into something else, and he'll just change to a whole other thing, and I'm like, all right, let's go with it. And then we'll switch back to the
See,
original
bass player
song.
would really hate that.
He
It
would
would
hate
be
it for
hard.
sure.
Yeah.
And that's also because we have a rule. Our rule, like I was telling you, it's we don't want to learn scales or rhythm signatures,
Right.
whatever the things are called,
Yeah.
because there's 100 guys that can chicken pick, amazing people, then there's session musicians. But I feel like the less we know, the more we can be ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, this is the Waylander. So, and we were talking about that last night, huh? We thought,
Yeah.
man, like if somebody wanted to sound like us, they would be too trained, I
Yeah.
think, too knowledgeable of music.
Yeah.
Where us, it's just noise.
We don't
kind
know
of
what the hell
thing,
we're
you know?
doing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really like
Yeah,
that.
it's basically that's what it is.
We're just like always
And-
improvising.
And Danny, I tell her all the time, like, don't you go learning anything crazy, like
Yeah.
any fills or weird,
Yeah.
or it's just
You're
like
not getting a drum
comes
solo,
up.
Danny.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're not getting. Yeah, and that's how we recorded this last album. I mean, she was thinking we're gonna need practice
Yeah.
before recording. I just said no, let's just go in. So we recorded this song that's gonna be coming out. What's it called again? Make It to Plains. And then she's like, I don't know that song. I'm like, well, you're about to know it, and just
Yeah.
He
to
just
see what
wrote
you can
it.
come
Yeah.
up with. You just play anything,
Yeah.
just play it, and then she did, and it came out really awesome. So
Like
it's
we
actually
recorded
really
it
cool.
first take, maybe second take.
Yeah, it
and
took 2 takes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The goal is to do it in live, so it's her and I, no click, just live, and 1 or 2 takes, and that's how we do it.
Yeah.
Basically, so we got 8 songs, and that we recorded in an old Tascam, like an 80s Tascam.
Yeah.
And we did it at home, and we got Adam Oder working on that song.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be good playing.
So with him helping and Adam and just so many people have helped us
Yeah.
along the way, which has been awesome. You know, like people have really just, I think they're kind of excited to see what we're doing and
Yeah.
like we're sticking with it. And so, you know, against all odds, like he was saying, people are like, you gotta have that bass, you gotta have that steel, and
Yeah.
so we're just kind of like pushing forward as much as we can. And I feel like people they like that, and so they're like, oh, let me help you, or you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's been one of the coolest parts about like the video or the new song.
Yeah.
Is just like, and last night going like strangers coming up to us, you know, after the show and talking, and I just feel like that help also motivates us to keep going, you know.
Yeah.
These people are taking the time to help us, so let's just go for
Yeah.
it.
Do you
And,
think the stereotype comes, I mean, from your stage presence? I mean, obviously cowboy hats, and you have
Yeah,
that
yeah.
cool stage with the, you know, all the
Yeah.
family room kind of thing. Do you think that stereotype, like they just see you and like go, okay, this is a country band, and they're probably gonna have all this stuff? Do you think that's where, like, do you think they would have that same stereotype if you went to Chicago or something like that? Well, they may have worse. They might think you ride a horse too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll be like, Texas, bring your tumbleweeds.
Yeah, maybe even a worse stereotype. Maybe California. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how you know, like where that comes from. I guess the stereotype of having to have certain instruments and a certain
Yeah.
sound
Yeah.
in your music, and you know,
I think it's the purist people that
Yeah,
just think
yeah.
country music has to be this way,
Yeah.
and if it's not, get out of here. You know?
Yeah.
But I think that, you know, people hate Morgan Wallen or they hate whatever Nashville
Yeah.
guy. But in my mind, it's all important because we need those bands. You can't have everybody sound like Summer D.
Yeah.
You can't have
Yeah,
everybody
what do you
sound like
compare it
Morgan
to?
Wallen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like imagine a festival and everybody is Morgan Wallen, you
Yeah.
know, or literally that kind of show. And it's important to push boundaries too. And I think Texas is evolving when it comes to music. And there's like you're talking about Americana music, and there's new artists that are coming out and they want to do their thing, you know.
Yeah.
That's the term, I guess, outlaw to me. When it comes to do your own thing, and they're being accepted. People
Yeah.
are starting to change their mentality when it comes to this Texas music, and of course the traditional music. It's beautiful and it's important. It's okay to have those bands that play that and keep it alive and
Yeah.
keep it going. But it's also important to move forward, I think. You
Yeah.
know, but because country, you know, one of the phrases people say, "Oh, we're saving country music," and like it's
Yeah.
never gonna die. Like it's such a part of our culture. It
Yeah.
doesn't need to be saved.
Yeah,
It's in our
yeah,
blood.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
here. You know.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
just
there's a
not-
whole website out there with that name, and I always think, what needs to be saved?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Everything moves.
Yeah,
Obviously,
everything
we're not listening to Jerry Lee Lewis
Right,
anymore.
right.
You know what I mean? Like that model would not fit to sell a record nowadays.
No,
so
no.
it always is going to evolve and move.
Yeah,
and if
absolutely.
and I'm a big fan of like, well, some of it I like to move with, and other
Yeah.
parts I don't. You
Yeah,
know? And I
no,
think
yeah.
everybody is.
Yeah.
And I don't hate people that like Morgan Wallen. I don't hate Morgan Wallen or Luke,
No.
Yeah,
any of
none of
them. I'm
them.
like,
It's
if that's just
important.
it's just your thing. I hate critics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think critics
yeah.
are like, well, I don't like this because,
Yeah.
like, what makes your ear special?
Because
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Well, your ear special. That's
Yeah.
right. And it's the thing. People say, "What's real country?" Right? What's real country music? And I asked somebody that, and they said, "Well,
Oh,
George Strait."
yeah.
And it was like, "Well, what does that make Johnny Cash in then?
Yeah.
Is he not country? No, it's all country.
Yeah.
It's all a part of the family. You know, this big group of musicians
Yeah.
that we're all one. So let's not tear each other down. And
Yeah.
you get down and you don't belong here, kind of thing.
So is the there's a tear in my beer? Is that not country? You know,
Yeah,
what I mean? Well,
right,
it doesn't
yeah.
sound like George Strait.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's all important.
I think it's a generational thing.
Yeah, it
You
could
know,
be.
I just
Yeah.
think it's like like I know plenty of people who think the '90s country is it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
90s country was country the way it's supposed to be, and
Yeah.
but then you talk to a purist who's like, oh no, Bob Wills, that's
Right. Oh,
country.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's real country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Turkey,
And then you get
Texas.
people who are like, George Strait is country, but
Yeah.
George Strait, none of those. You can't put 3 of those songs back to back to back and go, they're all the exact same
Yeah.
thing.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Same with rock. Is you'd call Jerry Lee Lewis again? Great Balls of Fire is a rock and roll song.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
so is Led Zeppelin, and so
Exactly.
is Guns N' Roses, and
Right.
so is Blink 182,
Yeah.
pop
Right.
punk or whatever, it
Yeah.
still comes back to rock.
Yeah. It's all like it's one root, and all the branches come out, and it's all of us like
I don't
beliefs,
think we cared until social media came along. And like social media just ruined all that. Before that, you just kind of listened to what you liked. You didn't call it
That's
anything.
true.
Yeah.
That's what we don't focus on. People ask us like, what are your venues, or when they want to book a show, we want to see your views and how many
Your
listens you have on
Spotify numbers,
Spotify.
yeah,
but really,
really.
we don't even look at that. I don't even have Spotify. Like the music's there, but I don't look at it because it's not important to me.
It's a fun
I think it's about the connection direct with people. Playing a show and your grassroots, working with those people, and that's our motto too. And it's worked for us. We go play a show. Since April in 2024, we played our first show to the bartender.
Just her.
Just
No
her.
one was
Yep,
there.
yep.
No one
And it
was
was
there.
amazing. It was a great time.
And then the second one was bike night in Denton, and we played that show. It was a bike night, so it wasn't even a show. It was just bike night, and they had the music, and that really changed things for us because we realized we're a live band. We're not like something you want to go listen on Spotify and that's it. No, like you have to come see us.
Yeah.
And people were there that invited us to play a festival, Born Free, Texas. And then we played that one, and somebody was there from California, and he's like, "You got to come to California." So we're gonna go on tour in June, and that's our motto. We play a show, we book a show because our show is what's important, and they want to see us or put us in another venue.
Yeah.
And that's what we focus on, our live show, because if like the world goes to hell and Spotify dies, then how are you gonna know who's good anymore? Like when TikTok died for like 2 hours, I was thinking, what are the venues gonna do now? Who's good out there?
That is such a horrible philosophy for booking bands.
Yeah.
That's how big people really. I think social media has probably done that too. We really think we're big, and you're not. Okay,
No.
we're 6 billion people.
Yeah.
6.6 million people live in the DFW area.
Yeah.
Okay. So if your song has 1 million streams, but there's 6 million people, you think there's 1 million people in DFW who are streaming your song?
Exactly.
It's worldwide.
Exactly.
It's so and the difference between like 1 million seconds is days and 1 million,
absolutely.
1 billion seconds is like years. It's like so. I mean, we all just have this shrunken down view of the world, and like the book based on streams. Okay, if you could narrow that down to city by city, Amarillo is streaming you this many times, Lubbock is streaming you this many times, Midland, Odessa, or Red River, or then it would be useful. But it's not that.
We played with people that were the closers, and they had 60,000 listeners on Spotify, whatever it is. And then we played the show, and 4 people were there.
Yeah,
it's just like you're saying, they're not there to the venue thinks they're gonna bring 1,000 people, and no, it doesn't translate. So you can't look at those numbers and expect I'm gonna sell 1,000 beers tonight. It's not about. I think people, venues and bookers, they really need to focus on pushing a good
local
live
involvement,
band and something good that's like this is gonna shake things up a little bit,
And Shane Smith and the Saints is a great example of that too, because I don't care what album you buy from those guys, it will not match the vibe you get at the show. The live show is so much better than any studio produced album that they will ever put out. And I think any fan of theirs will tell you that. Their albums are okay, but man, their show,
Go see them.
their show is amazing. You know what I mean? So it doesn't always translate. If you judged a book by the cover kind of thing, you wouldn't book them because the music is just it's good, but it's nothing like their show is 100 times better than anything they'll ever put out on CD.
And that's our thing for sure. I think we want to offer people that escape, when we play the show. So we want to do the best and have the most fun when we play. So for people to really escape and see something fresh and something new and. We show up and people think she's the singer because they're conditioned to that,
they
right?
come up and
they
they're
think,
like,
the girl's the singer and he's the guitar or the drummer. But it's just a big shock when she sits on the drums, and then it's like, wait a minute, that this is already different,
We had a couple come in years ago. I'm not going to be able to think of their names now. They're not together anymore. I think they were married at the time. And he told me the funniest thing because he said, he would sing. When they first got started, he was the singer, and then people didn't like him as much. He goes, I heard, let the girl sing.
Yeah. That's funny.
That's so funny.
Because I guess they would trade off.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But like she's still putting out music he's not. You know,
Oh,
what I mean?
man.
He really did become like he thought he was really good. He ended up, I'm a better guitar player. You know what I mean? And she
she's
was,
still going.
yeah. But I will never forget that. You know,
Yeah.
him telling me, you know, oh yeah, he goes, nothing like hearing the crowd yo, let the girl
Oh my
sing.
gosh.
Man, that's
Yeah.
brutal.
That would be hard. I just started singing with him too because I didn't want to. I was too nervous
Yeah.
to do it. And playing drums and singing is next level
Yeah,
hard. You know,
yeah.
trying to keep on beat
Yeah.
and keep your voice straight.
Miss Don Henley over here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
basically.
wouldn't do it, and every practice he would come up and just put a microphone up, and
There
I
you
would
go.
get
I
mad,
forced
and
her
I'd be
to
like,
sing.
"No, I'm not doing it." And then I started slowly being like, "No, no, no,"
Yeah.
like slowly singing, and you know, through like lots of work
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
I'm finally able
Just
to start
confidence
singing
building,
with him.
yeah.
That's what it
Yeah.
is, definitely. So
Just being
that's
sure
been,
of yourself a little
yeah.
more. Yeah.
So that's really fun too because it's a different thing where we're both like harmonizing and playing, and
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
And I always have to talk to the sound guy. I always gotta tell the sound guy too, because they think again it's the stereotype, like you're saying. Well, it's
Yeah.
a country band. There's the hat, so it's a soft, quiet guitar, and then
Yeah.
maybe soft drums. But I always tell them like it's allowed. There's 2 amps. There's
Yeah.
3 amps. I got a stereo set up and a harmonica amp. So it's gonna be loud, okay? Like I'm
Yeah,
not gonna turn
whatever.
it down
Just
even
two of
if you
you.
want me to.
Yeah,
Like
and they're
this
like,
is the
"Ooh,"
sound.
and then we're
And we don't use any distortion. It's just
Yeah.
this guitar. It's just an old 60s harmony. you
Yeah.
know? And I tell them this is gonna it's a rock,
That's
a
true.
country rock band.
Yeah.
You know, so that's basically our show, and it's a full thing. You know, one of our friends, he came to our show and he said, I just came back in Fort Worth, and he said, I just watched this band, 5-piece, and I just walked up here to see you guys. And you guys sound just as full.
Yeah.
Why is it that you guys are so full? And it's because I don't know what it is. I think it's just the way I play the guitar. I do a lot, you know, of things. Not shredding. I'm not one that again knows scales and the
Yeah.
whatever keys and
Yeah.
things. I'm not just chicken picking, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm doing and whatever Danny's doing, and between playing harmonica and guitar and 2 amps or whatever, it just sounds very full. And,
Yeah.
and that takes people by surprise.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially doing like harmonica solos because it's just harmonica and drums.
Yeah.
And that is not very like common.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
So just keeping that beat and then him just going off on the harp is
There's one
It's
other
so
band,
different.
and they usually play the Gold Light, and now they've actually got a 4-piece. But when they first several times that I saw them, they're Corey Hunt band out of North Carolina, and they would come through and one drummer with kind of a small kit too, because
Yeah.
that's a far, it's a
Yeah.
long way to go.
Yeah.
They fit it all on the airplane somehow, and then him
Oh.
with his guitar. And so yeah, there's just not a lot, and it was the same thing though. You go and you're like, man, that just sounds
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's just getting people over the stereotype of coming
Yeah.
in going,
Right.
well, they're not a full band.
Yeah.
You
No.
know?
Yeah. And
yeah, and we've leaned into that more now.
Yeah.
Like he was saying earlier, like
that's
kind
our
of-
rebellion. And
You go on stage going, the rest of the band will be here in about an hour if you
Yeah.
hang out.
I know.
He
I
always
have.
makes jokes about it too. He'll be like, "Oh,
I always
bass
tell people the
player."
bass player was late or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we and then there's a lot of the people comment, and after the show, a lot of people can't pin it, the sound.
Yeah.
You know, when we play, and we can't even tell you what it is. You
That's
have
good.
to see it.
Can't put
you
it in a
know?
box.
Yeah.
And
really.
and it is not something we want to say.
Yeah.
Well, it's this. You know, it's blues, it's
Yeah.
country, it's rock. It's just a lot of influences
Yeah.
that we have
Yeah.
between. I mean, she grew up with country, and I grew up on classic rock. So coming together, you know,
Yeah.
it's just like an explosion of influence. You know, all those things.
Yeah.
But of course, we get the compliment, or I guess it is a compliment. You know, people say, "You guys are like the white stripes of country,"
Oh, yeah,
and we
yeah.
say, "Well,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
not the white stripes of country. We're Dwight stripes of country."
Yeah.
That's what it is.
There.
Yeah, Dwight stripes of
The white
country. Yeah,
stripes.
But we always ask people too, because we're like,
That's
you
hilarious.
know, they're like, "Are you country? Are you rock?"
Yeah.
And we're like, "You tell us.
Yeah,
What do you
you-
think
you-
it is?"
you-
So
you-
that's kind of fun to get that
Yeah.
different feedback too. Like, what,
and we don't sound like Dwight or the White Stripes at all. It's just really
Yeah.
our
Yeah,
own
no,
thing. So it's
yeah.
just I
Yeah.
think because
Yeah.
they see a girl and
Yeah.
a guy, okay,
Yeah.
automatically,
Yeah.
oh yeah, White Stripes
Yeah.
of country. But if
Well,
you
and-
listen to our sound, it's entirely different.
Yeah.
It's got
Wade last night was like, "You guys sound like Marty
Marty.
Robbins and the White Stripes had a baby." I was like, "Amazing, okay."
I mean, it's a
We'll
hell of a
take that.
compliment. The White
Yeah, these
Stripes.
are-
I guess you guys could cover
Heroes.
what is that? We're gonna be friends.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
gonna
It's
be
so
friends.
softer.
It's a-
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
just
Throw
a,
that
you
in
know.
somewhere just
Yeah.
to give people like. See,
No, all you get is going dun 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 dun. Everybody
And
knows
everybody
Oh,
will
yeah,
know that.
football
totally.
games.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
One thing that we when we were playing at home at her house, we were just we were trying to be a band, and we just played like 3 times a week, like 8-hour days, like trying to figure out this thing.
Yeah.
And so I've never really liked to play covers, and not because I don't want to, just because it's hard, again, because
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of guitar
Yeah.
stuff, you know? So that forced us to write more. And now the way we cover the songs, they're more like bits and pieces in between our songs.
Yeah.
So just to throw fun things that, that we like.
Yeah.
Like we have this song, Every Wheel on This Buzz. And in the middle, on the fast part, I just sang Johnny Cash bit. you
Yeah.
know, when I was
In a
just a
little
baby.
bullet mic.
In
Yeah.
a little bullet mic,
And
yeah.
it sounds so cool.
And then they come back to ours, so like stuff like that,
Yeah.
Like covers are great,
Yeah.
but it forces us to write more of our own stuff, not knowing. I think that's what it is.
Too many
you know?
covers are bad anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
And doing them our own way, where it's just like a snippet of
Yeah.
it. That's fun too. 'Cause
Yeah.
You're not like,
Yeah.
bored with the whole song. or
We
anything.
do
You get to-
cover. We do have a cover that we recorded. We do have a few covers that we like, but it's only old stuff.
Yeah.
Like we recorded "Me and Jesus" by Tom T. Hall.
Yeah.
And then we just recorded "Delta Dawn," and it's gonna be a duet, I guess, kind of thing. And that
Yeah.
it sounds really good.
Yeah.
That one. We're
and it's
really proud
different,
of that
We're
one.
always just kind of taking
Yeah.
and making it our own.
Yeah.
Just like sticking it.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I don't know, might be.
Because we don't look up
blasphemy,
the
but-
chords. It's just like, well, what sounds good with us? So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I think this is Delta Dawn. Okay,
Yeah.
let's play it.
Our
And
version
with
of
all
it.
with all due respect, as Taylor Honeycutt says.
Yeah.
So we just keep it respectfully, and
As close to it
as close to it as possible
Yeah.
in our own the Waylander way, I guess we
Yeah.
call it.
Yeah.
So,
The Waylanders in studio with us. Not playing here. You missed them. They played last night, actually, at the Golden Light. But I'm sure we'll have them back here in the hopefully near future. Maybe again this summer or something like that, or late spring or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever brings you guys back through. I don't know if there's a firm rule on how many months you have to separate gigs, but whenever that time is,
yeah, we'll be back for sure.
Yeah, we'll have to get them in the studio beforehand next time. Although I talked you guys up all week about you guys coming, so hopefully somebody there heard it and showed up because of it.
Oh yeah, we met a lot of great
Thank
people. Yeah,
you.
for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure it's become the music scene has become kind of odd here in the last 5 years or so. With people making it out to shows and taking a chance on shows, and it's become
Paying the cover.
yeah,
don't
it's just
know
been a
what they're gonna
weird
be.
yeah. It used to be we mentioned this, if you didn't have TikTok or whatever, you
Yeah.
just have to go to a show and see how good they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
And enjoy the show. And unfortunately, again,
Yeah.
streaming, social media has kind of ruined a little bit of that.
Yeah, no,
surprise.
I
part.
agree with that.
People are
Yeah.
trying to look them up. Well, again, they only have 2,000
Yeah.
followers. Do we want to go?
Yeah.
That type of thing. So,
Yeah.
which is a
It-
bummer.
It's like it's that thing where if someone quote unquote cool says you're
Yes.
good, then let's go
Yep,
see
then
them.
you gotta
But,
go,
but it's
yeah.
like I
Yeah.
think people need to just kind of
That's
know and say this is good. I like this, and be okay with that, even if nobody likes it.
going
if
without
you like
knowing.
it, exactly.
That's rebellious now. That's
Yeah.
outlaw
Yeah.
now.
That should be the new cool.
Yeah.
People need to bring that. Remember back in the day when it was cool to know a band and you wouldn't tell your friends?
Yeah.
Because it was like, I'm not going to tell
You keep
people
the
about this band. It's
Yeah.
my secret band.
Yeah.
And it was cool to know these great bands, and they would have a following and things, and not a million followers.
Yeah.
But it was almost like a private thing
Yeah.
that you could keep to yourself,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
I love it. Hard for
Thank
you
you.
not to be over there tapping
Thank
or
you.
something.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
like-
It's really hard to sing and not play drums now.
Yeah.
Used to be the
It's
opposite.
quieter.
band drummers come in and they'll either have a shaker, something to keep their
yeah.
hands busy,
No,
or brushes, and they'll just tap the brushes on the counter.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I told her not to learn anything new.
honestly, I tried to play the tambourine and it's so hard. I
Yeah,
didn't even
yeah.
know that just
Yeah.
that is,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, no,
I've been
there.
very fortunate to watch drummers come in the studio over the years and play everything from I saw brushes on a guitar case,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they don't want to be not.
The
Or I've heard them play bongos on guitar
Yeah.
cases, kind of thing.
Like,
They want to be
honestly,
seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were going to even be doing a little
Yeah.
snippet today either,
Yeah.
so this is all
That's
a
awesome.
good surprise.
Yeah, it's definitely good. We came out here not knowing we were gonna meet you.
Yeah.
We were driving, and we
Yes.
booked this while
Yes,
we were
you
driving.
did.
Yeah, somebody
Yeah.
told you to text. Who told you to text me? Was it Darby or?
Wade,
Oh, Wade
the bar
at
guy
the-
told
at the-
Dylan, which is one of our booking guys.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
So he's like, go hit this guy up,
Yeah.
and we're like, all right, let's
Yeah.
go. Yeah, right. We're gonna go to this radio station, and here we
Yeah.
are. It's just
Yeah.
so.
I love it. It's the best. It's the best thing ever. It's just to get to meet people and
Yeah,
share your music and
Yeah.
share your music with the listeners and let everybody know who you are and
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
You
definitely.
helps build a crowd hopefully for next time.
Oh, absolutely.
How do they? Is there a good way to follow you? I know you're on Instagram, so I just tagged you and is it
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the best way.
Waylanders?
Yeah, the Waylanders music.
Yeah,
You can find us there.
underscore Waylanders underscore music. And then you'll see us right there. So that's the best way. If you want to check out the Spotify, we can go check it out and at some point.
And I know
you
there's videos on YouTube.
Yeah, you
Videos
can
on
check out some
YouTube. You
music
can go
videos.
on YouTube and the Waylanders. There's the first album, which is called Limerence. So that one, and then we got some fun songs. We're in halos over the horns on our heads. That's
Mr.
probably
Big Cigar.
Mr. Big Cigar. It's kind of a spoken word song.
Yeah.
And
That's where we get the Marty Robbins.
Muskrat, the steel player for Coulter, he's one of my friends. He
Yeah.
posted it, and we felt so happy because Coulter reposted it. And
Oh,
we're like,
cool.
Oh man,
They
he
were all
likes
smoking
our
cigars
song.
and
their
We're
songs
smoking
in the background,
cigars.
so
Yeah,
that
exactly.
was
And
cool.
and Pat Lyons, he played the dobro for that. Like I said, the first album we did hire people,
Yeah.
some people and I forgot about that. It was the dobro, piano, and harmonica.
Yeah, and
They were all smoking big cigars. So
That's right.
that was the
Yeah.
song that they were playing.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, he played there, dobro and Mr. Big Cigar, and a lot of people like that one, and a lot of people like Six String Dreams, and that's kind of a true story, because again, talking about country and the stereotypes.
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to tell you I'm not a cowboy. I didn't grow up in Texas. I came home
either.
from
I
the
don't
West.
even, like, I got-
Yeah, look at those
Yeah.
bands. Yeah, checkered bands. Yeah, punk rock, man.
yeah.
So it's I'll be in that song. It just says, there's a line that says, I never claimed to be a cowboy.
Yeah.
So don't label me as like you ain't country or you're country. No, because I'm not even saying I'm country. It's just
We've
Yeah.
got a song. It's like
Yeah.
I'm not a cowboy. I just like Coors, Coors Ranch or something like Coors.
Yeah.
Coors beer. Those yellow. What do they call them? I'm not a cowboy, but I like Coors.
Oh yeah.
Little banquets.
Yeah.
Oh, the banquet.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that
I
beer.
just
actually.
like
That's
banquet
good
beer or something like that. Yeah.
It's what is it, Miller?
I don't
right?
think you're alone in that.
Yeah, I
There's
know.
a lot
Yeah,
of fans
no.
out there like, man, you don't want to see me on a horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's part of that movement we're talking
Yeah.
about, right? Something's
can like
brewing
the
and
music.
something's
Yeah.
happening with
Yeah.
music that's
Yeah.
changing, and people are starting to pay attention to, the Charlie Crockett's,
Yeah.
the Walter
The
Walls.
Bandoliers.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
These guys, the Red Clay Strays, whatever
Yeah.
they're doing,
Yeah.
it's a thing happening, and we just want to be a part of that group, And if we just get a coloring book with the drawing already there and just color it, then we're just another dance hall band, and
Yeah.
we don't want to be the cover band. So we're gonna get a notebook with no drawings on it, and we're gonna color ourselves. This is it. This is the best we can do.
Yeah.
Find the Waylanders wherever you get your music from, and follow them on socials and all the good stuff, and keep up with them and be in the know when they're back here. So
Yeah.
excellent. It was good to meet you.
Thanks for
Good to
having
have you
us.
in.
No,
Thank
this was
you.
great. Thank you so
Your
much.
job and work is so important, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Well,
Thank
appreciate
you for
y'all.
being all
Keep
out
up the
there.
good work.
Y'all enjoy
Yeah.
Quanah. Who did I text yesterday? I was telling you, oh man, once you
It wasn't
once you
me.
go
It
to
was
Quanah,
me.
you don't come back. You sure
Yeah.
you want to go to Quanah?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
going
we
there
used to go
Ask
tonight.
Adam. He hasn't left.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know
I'm
they
gonna stay
stay.
with them tonight. We'll
drove-
see what Quanah's all
There you go.
about.
You'll be
What's
there
keeping
keeping
forever now.
Yeah.
What's keeping them there? There's got to be something in the water.
Awesome.
Good to meet y'all.
All right, you
You
too.
too. Thank you.